Hello and welcome to yet another episode of M&A Ambassadors, Becoming the USP, the Ultimate Sales Professional. Now, we had started talking about rapport and we looked at the two types of rapport, the conscious rapport and the unconscious rapport. Now, the unconscious rapport is the one that I'd like to spend the next few episodes discussing. It's the most powerful types of rapport that you can create, and because it's unconscious, clients are not even aware that you are getting the influence on them during the sales engagement. Now, we know that the process of selling has got two parts to it. There is the science of selling, and then there is the psychology of selling. The science of selling is the visible structure, step-by-step approach that you use, and everyone can see what you're doing. It's the psychological side of selling that's the more powerful. It is actually observable and identifiable, but to most people it is not, because we are not trained to look for these things. So these are predominantly influenced by our behavior patterns, our thought patterns, our preferences in the terms of the words we choose and how we communicate. Are we left-brained in our thinking and approach, or are we right-brained in our thinking and approach? So it's really important for us to understand this, because it is in the preferred thinking and the preferred patterns that we have our confidence and our comfort. And it's the same for your buyers and sellers. They're most comfortable and confident when you approach them in their preferred thinking style. So we need to understand left brain and right brain. Now that brings me to another point. Do you know who you are? Are you left-brained or are you right-brained? See, when you're not even aware of your own approach, there's a very real possibility a conflict in thinking and selling approach will happen. You don't intend it, but you're not even aware that your approach might be contrasting with the preferred style of the client. So it's very important that you identify who you are, and I'll help you do that over the next few episodes. After that, I will show you how you can identify within 10 seconds on the phone and within 30 seconds with a very deep evaluation when you are face-to-face with the client. It will put you in the driving seat, so to speak. So what is it that we would need to look at? We would have to look at the left brain dominance, the right brain dominance. There's also the front brain dominance and the back brain dominance. Once we have understood each of these four parts of the brain, we then need to look at the four types of buyers and sellers that we will engage with. You have the challengers who are on the left brain, and you have also organizers who come on the left brain. So there is a particular way to approach them when you are communicating. And on the right brain, you will have the engagers and the responders. So let me give you just one example to show you how different they are. You see, the left brain is very specific. They're very objective. They only understand information that is clear and that is numerate, that can be converted into numbers. They are logic-driven people. On the other hand, people who are right brain are more subjective. They are vague. When they speak, they do not focus on specific facts and numbers. They come in using a generic mode. Let me give you an example. Okay? So let's say you are a manager and one of your brokers comes in to talk to you. Now they have a few things they want to discuss. How would a right brain person put the question? They're asking for a meeting. They'll probably knock on your door, come in and say, boss, do you have some time? There are a few things I'd like to discuss. Now, they're very comfortable speaking that kind of language, but they don't realize that the boss who is left-brained is not comfortable in that moment. How much time? How many topics? You see, for the left brain, vague does not work. They don't make sense of information that is vague. So for the left brain boss to understand, they would have to ask you specific questions. How much time? How many topics? So there's a very real possibility that since I'm not clear about how much time or topics, I'd probably tell you, you know what, I'm busy right now, let's speak later. So I lose in that engagement simply because I went in as a right brain person, never understood the person I was talking to, and therefore I did not frame my sentences the way he would like to hear it. Now, once I understand the concept of left and right brain, the same right brain person walking into a left brain boss's office would reframe the sentence. So it might sound like this: boss, you got 5 minutes? There's two things I need to discuss. Can you see the difference? In the first case, it was, do you have some time? There are a few things I want to discuss. You'll probably get no as an answer. But if you came in and said, do you have 5 minutes? There's two things I'd like to discuss. Now there is a point of reference. The point of reference means that this left brain person can now decide, okay, can I spare 5 minutes? Now I know it's only 2 topics. There's a much higher probability you will get the meeting. So if you can see the difference, there's such a contrast in how they approach communication, presenting of information, processing of information, and even the decision making. So we want to look and understand what's the most effective way for you to approach each of the 4 types of buyers and sellers. You see, most of the deals, nearly 75% of the deals are lost, not because the opportunity wasn't good or that community wasn't exciting. It was simply 2 people playing on different fields. You turned up with a cricket bat and your client had a soccer ball. So if we can understand who is this person that I'm actually speaking to, the psychology of selling will come in, create that unconscious influence, help you develop the control, and close your deals much faster. Now, I know this is a vast topic and it's a lot to cover in these short little clips, but I'll do my best and break it up into 6 minute, 7 minute max little components, and over the next few episodes, we will introduce you to the psychology of selling. I want to thank you for your time with us today on M&A Ambassadors, Becoming the USP, the Ultimate Sales Professional.